going on, pilots? This is Pete with BananaHobby.com. Welcome to your Ask Pete webisode. What I do here is basically I ask y'all to post questions up on the comment area on YouTube and on our Facebook as well. And every week I go through there and I compile some questions that you all have asked, and I answer them on YouTube for you. So with this week's episode, we're just going to jump right into some of these questions. We got some pretty good questions, and some questions are a little bit difficult to answer because of the nature of some of the questions being with a wide variety of answers. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well a little bit later here. Let me go ahead and pull up my questions here, and let's just go ahead and get started in this episode of this webisode of Ask Pete here. Here we go. Awesome. Okay, question number 1 comes from YouTube, and it's by IS Pint CHNO2, the author. And this person asks, will Banana Hobby sell more airplanes and EDFs in EPO foam instead of EPS? EPO foam is more durable and resistant to dents, scratches, deformation, and breaks. And you are absolutely right. EPO foam is the newest foam technology that we have incorporated into airplanes. And the answer to your question is yes, we will be carrying more and more airplanes will be coming as EPO foam. However, EPO is a little bit more heavier, and it's just a more dense foam. It is more durable, but it is heavier. And we're able right now with a couple of the new airplanes on the market, like the SBD5 Dauntless and the ME262, that you could barely even tell that the foam is, it's even foam. The paint is so good on there. So yes, we will be carrying more, and newer products will be coming in EPO foam construction. So let's go on to question number 2 here. Comes from Carl Edmark. And Carl asks, how can I avoid stripping gears on my Matrix 250R Pete Signature Series helicopter? This is a great question, and I'm going to actually spend a little bit of time here and talk about this, because a lot of people flying helicopters don't realize this. Okay, I have the Matrix 250R transmitter right here. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And then I have my own JR9503 here. Okay, there's something that every single helicopter pilot, once you're flying a 6-channel helicopter, or 6-channel aerobatic helicopter with a high head speed, you by all means, you have to do this. This is like a rule of thumb here. On my radio here, I have, on the 9503 here, this switch here is called Throttle Hold. You have to set it up. You have to go through your programming and set it up. And let me talk a little bit about what Throttle Hold is. Throttle Hold is in the event that you crash, or in the event that you want your throttle shut off, immediately you hit this button right here, this toggle switch. I use this toggle switch more than anything on this radio, basically, aside from the sticks when I'm flying it. When I'm flying all of my own helicopters, including the Matrix 250R on this radio here, I'll show you. You want to set this up. And this is how you avoid stripping the gear on your Matrix 250R. If you get into a situation where you crash and we call it the chicken dance, the helicopter's on the ground and you still have throttle going on, or you're at idle 1 or idle 2, idle up, and the helicopter's just going around in circles on the ground, like smacking itself, and then you strip the gear on it, and the tail gear as well. So what we do is, as soon as you know that you have an issue and you're going to crash, it's better to hit throttle hold, let the helicopter come down with low head speed or minimal head speed, and actually minimizes damages, and then to have it actually just hit the ground, and then have to find switches and then turn your idle up, turn it off, and then you hit throttle all the way down, and if you're still in idle up, it's just going into negative pitch and it's still at full speed. So you don't want to do that. So always set up throttle hold. My tip is, when you think you're going to crash, we all hate to crash helicopters and airplanes, but with helicopters, if you think you're going to crash, hit that throttle hold already. Just make it a habit to hit this throttle hold button. This is your friend right here, and I use that a lot. I actually will power on my helicopter and then turn throttle hold on while I plug everything in, so it doesn't keeps it from actually spooling up. So having said that, let's go ahead and talk about your Matrix 250R transmitter here, and I'll tell you a couple of things here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. I have the stylus here. I went ahead and pulled the stylus out, and I'm going to just go ahead and walk up to the camera here, and I'm going to show you a couple of things here. We're around Halloween season here, and there's fake cobwebs all over the place, and it's happened to be stuck to my finger here. Okay, here we go. All right, so here I'm in front of the camera. Okay, this is your Matrix 250R radio. This switch up here is called rudder dual rate. Okay, this is actually your throttle hold. This is your idle flight mode 1 and 2 for idle up, and this is your throttle hold on the Matrix 250R. Okay, we're gonna go into the touchscreen here. Okay, we're gonna select where are we at? Here we go. We're gonna select the settings. Okay, we're in settings here. We're gonna scroll down to, where is it at? Let's see here. Here we go. This window right here, this one has throttle hold. We're gonna click on throttle hold. Okay, see right now the stock setting is inhibit. It's not working right now. So we're gonna go ahead and click on that, and we're gonna set it to active. Okay, and now that it's active, the position right here says minus 5.0. It actually is okay. We'll go ahead and just leave it there. And then once you're there, it's active, you're already done. You just exit the whole programming here, and now your throttle hold is active. As you can see here, the throttle is on. When you hit that, it goes to minus 5. This will actually shut off the spinning of your blades, okay? And that is how you set up what we call throttle hold. Make sure you make it a habit of using this. Every time you power on, make sure you make it a habit of shutting the throttle off. And again, if you have any incidents, make sure first thing you do, just flip that switch. It'll keep you from stripping more gears that way. Okay, great question. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question here, and it comes in from Born to Fly 10. And this question is, hey Pete, I've been flying for 2 years now, and I have 3 jets, some warbirds, and a 3D foamy that I can fly pretty good. Let's see. What is my recommendation for my next plane? For our next plane, something's going on with my. Give me 1 second. Something's going on with my computer here where I can't see all the messages. Huh, weird. Okay. Well, if you've been flying for a couple of years now, you have 3 jets and some warbirds, I think it's what you like to fly next. You sound like you have enough experience to actually move on to something with, something with maybe thrust vectoring. Have some fun with flat spins and really high alpha maneuvers. So that's always a good area to go to. And if you're flying 3D foamies, maybe move up to a larger 3D airplane now too. 3D airplanes are just very, very addictive and just a ton of fun. So that's where I would go with those. All right, let's move on to the next question here. Hi, Pete. It actually comes in from Steen Peterson. And Steen says, hi, Pete. I am new into this hobby. I am from Denmark, but still love to watch your channel. Thank you very much, first of all, for your support and for watching the channel. I had to change a servo the other day, and suddenly both ailerons went the same way. And I was not able to reverse only one servo in my DX6i. Can you tell about servos? Is there 2 different types? I ended up changing both servos, both the good and the broken one. Then everything was fine. What did I do wrong? Okay, there could be a couple of scenarios here that I actually read in the comment box. Somebody asked if your servo horn was on the wrong side, and you had said that, in your reply, you had said that the servo could only be mounted one way. Okay, so that makes sense. A couple of things here. It depends on what airplane it is, if you bought the airplane from us or where the airplane came from. There's a good chance that the manufacturer just made a mistake and put 2 of the same polarity servos in there. Because there are positive positive polarity servos, and then there are negative polarity servos. If they use the wrong ones, your ailerons are going to be like flaps. However, if you're using a DX6i, you can also just use servo extensions, and instead of using a Y splitter, just go ahead and individually plug in your aileron into the aileron, like the one servo on the aileron into the aileron channel, and then your other aileron servo, plug it into auxiliary 1, and then you could select on your radio itself, you can go ahead and select flaperon. And then from there, you can actually shut the flaperon off, and then you're adjusting one servo at a time, so you can actually reverse the side that's actually moving backwards. And most of my airplanes that I fly dual aileron servos in, that's my own airplanes, I stay away from Y splitters. I always wire in that configuration there, because then you can actually fine-tune the amount of throw, and then you can also fine-tune you can also do the servo reversing through the channels there. So that's pretty much how that goes there. And well, it sounds like you got it figured out when you changed out everything. So hopefully everything's working good now for you. Thank you for that question. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. Soldier 53 Flyer asks, "Hi Pete, can you tell me about FPV and what planes do you sell for FPV?" Okay, let's talk about FPV, something that I love to do. And actually, I was just at my local field the other day filming a review for y'all. And one of my friends was there, and he was flying FPV. And what basically FPV is this. You're using an airplane, and it stands for first-person view. You're using an airplane with a video feed program that gives you telemetry. It tells you your airspeed, your battery power, your altitude, all of that stuff. And then you're just basically either using a monitor, or sometimes people have these glasses that you can wear, and it shows you all that stuff. And you're basically not flying the airplane looking at the airplane. You're flying the airplane from the first-person viewpoint, which is pretty much you're looking at a monitor and your airplane is flying. And my buddy there, he was flying, and he was way out there. I couldn't believe how far he was going. And and there's good and bad to it. When you do FPV, you have to have good equipment, because if you lose your monitor or something breaks in that signal, your airplane is gone. And FPV gear is not the cheapest. It's pretty expensive. And what I recommend right now, the most popular airplanes for FPV always has been the gliders with the pusher prop on it. And I would say our Easy Trainer 1280 would be a great FPV plane. The Super Sky Surfer and the original Sky Surfer, that has been just one of the most popular planes ever for FPV. Behind me, you can see the Super Sky Surfer. That thing comes in at 95 inches, so you can actually throw cameras all over that thing. And granted, I don't have much time to do FPV flying, but I would love to. But for now, these are the best recommendations. I would get yourself a Sky Surfer or a Super Sky Surfer, and retrofit it with some FPV gear, and go out there and just have some fun. Thank you for that question. Okay, next one comes in from Jung Opion. Opipun. I like the name. They're challenging sometimes. And this person asks, "Pete, Banana Hobby going to sell quadcopters?" And the answer to that is yes. We're working on a few different things, so it's coming. And what basically quadcopters are is one of the newest and hottest fads going on right now. Everybody's really into these. They're called multi-copters, multi-rotors. A quadcopter has 4 blades on it, and you can carry camera gear and all that stuff. I personally have a quadcopter, I have a hexacopter, and I have an octocopter, so it's 8 blades. But yes, we will be working on some of that stuff, so keep in touch and stay tuned, and just check our website, because you never know when the quadcopters are going to pop up on there. All right, let's go to a couple more here. JCTR3AC says, he's actually replying to one of my videos saying, "Thanks, Pete, just in time to move, or time for me to do some CG testing." He's referring to the Pete's Tips video where I talked about batteries and center of gravity. And he's saying, just in time for me to do some CG testing on a few planes. One question about LiPo part of the tips. Often the battery will have a range, say 25 to 50 C. The higher number is for short bursts, or is it? Say I have a 50 C battery in a plane that calls for a 20 C LiPo, and when I run it wide open from takeoff to set down, am I liable to overtax something like the ESC or motor or even the battery? Thanks. Pete, always good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. And to answer that question, yes. If your plane calls for a 20C battery, it won't hurt to have a 50C battery in it at all. Like I said, it will help it to run more efficient, run cooler, because the battery is able to discharge at a quicker rate, basically. Without getting too super technical about it, it's never good to take off full throttle and then stay full throttle throughout the whole entire flight. That's always not good for your battery or for your electronics. So yeah, you can potentially burn something out like a motor or a speed control. And so we always want to fly throttle management. I have a Funjet, multiplex Funjet Ultra that flies on 4-cell and 4-cell 2200s. And my Funjet does an excess of about 150 miles an hour. And I've flown them on 20C battery, 25C packs before, and I just puffed the battery. The battery was hot, came down like a balloon, and I was flying throttle management. And now I've moved up, and I'm using my own batteries now, and my Funjet flies on our Genesis Power 65C packs. And I've been flying the 65C 2200s in there. And I literally have the throttle pegged for just about the entire 4-minute flight. The battery still comes down quite warm because I'm going really fast. And I just don't suggest it. You want to fly throttle management. You want to back it off a little bit at certain flybys and just let your system cool down. So that's always the good thing there. But if you want to put a 65C in your Warbird that only calls for a 20C, by all means, it doesn't need it, but if you choose to, it won't hurt it. So great question there. All right, one more here. Keith Clark asks, Banana Hobby is sending me a big bird like the one behind me. I need to know what the best cam to get and one that shows the readout of altimeter, speed, etc. Thanks. Well, Keith, I'll tell you, this is the big bird that you're talking about back here. And right now, there isn't exactly one single camera I can say that is the best one to get. It depends on, again, this actually ties together with the first question where the person was asking about FPV. It depends on what you want to do. If you want to go up there and just video around and you're flying from a remote control standpoint and you're looking at the plane, and basically that's what I do. So if you just want to go up there and video and shoot some photos, still photos and things like that, you can't go wrong with the GoPros. Right now, the GoPro Hero 2, right now they're coming out with a Hero 3. So, that's something I'm looking at getting as well. Sony makes a new action cam that's extremely good. There's one called a Contour, and then there's one called a Replay. And if you want to get above that, you were looking at cameras like the Nikon J1 or the Sonys, the Sony Nex series, the NEX5, the 7s. These are really, really good video quality cameras. But you're going up in price as well. So that's why I like the GoPros and the Contours and things like that. Check out the Sony Action Cam. It's $199, I believe, and it actually has image stabilization in it. So they have their Steady Shot incorporated into it. So I'm looking to try to use that on a couple of my flying videos. So those are really good. The next thing, is if you have an iPhone, the iPhone actually has an app now where it actually, I think it works with Spectrum with the DX8, or, I'm not 100% sure, but there's an app where it gives you all the telemetry. You have your altitude and everything like that, and all those readouts. So check into that if you have an iPhone. And then if you're talking about FPV, then that is just a huge area there. Most of your FPV gear will come with giving you airspeed, your battery power, your altimeter, all of that stuff. So you know what to do there. So Again, that's a great question, but if you're just looking to go out there and fly and get some video and still photos, I'd get a Hero 2. Those are great. The quality is absolutely amazing. Awesome. So thank you all always for your support and for joining me for Ask Pete Webisodes. Again, if you don't know about Ask Pete Webisodes, post your comments underneath here, and whatever questions you may have, go ahead and post them in the comment box underneath here, and I'll go through it, and then we'll come out with another Ask Pete Webisode next time. Thank you all always for your support. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and always come to Banana Hobby and check out everything, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all always for your support. We'll see you next time.